already. So Ogie's coming around, aren't you, Ogie? Yeah, and it was a little chaotic this morning. I sort of misjudged, or what's the word, assumed wrong. I assumed, I mean, I was sort of leery, but so what happens is these two characters here, I know, believe it or not, like they're laying so calmly right now beside me on my coffee, and I am trying to wake up. But yeah, when Pepper got dropped off this morning, Pepper's here for daycare. I thought that they would, be pretty okay. I was like a little cautious and leery because, like I said, they are two very strong-willed dogs. And here's the thing with dogs. They all have a threshold. And, just like humans, especially, I would say, well, I mean, you could call me sexist, but especially men, right? Like, say, for example, at a bar, everyone has a threshold where they just kind of lose it. And so with these two, they seem to have a very low threshold. Like it doesn't take too much to trigger them, or, like I don't have all the answers. It could just be that it's just they're two characters. Like, it might not be a general thing, is what I'm saying. Like it may just be specific to how they react to each other. Because, sometimes two characters just kind of clash. But I mean, yeah, like it's super hard to tell right now because they're like laying peacefully beside me, snoring away, and they don't feel threatened or anything. Anyway, so what happened is I let Pepper be in the backyard. So anytime I sort of would like to introduce dogs and not overwhelm them, is I have the visiting dog be out in the yard, and then I introduce each pack member one by one. So, so what happened? Oh, okay. So Pepper was out on the patio. I had Saxon on a short leash, and then I opened the door and things quickly got out of hand. Like, so what happened was Rocky, in the meantime, snuck out. So then he started barking, and then like, I mean, it happened so quick. Like, I don't know who started it, what happened, but like right away, like a full-on sort of fight ensued. And so I had to break it up. And the weird thing is, like, I had Saxon on a leash, and I was quickly able to grab Pepper's leash. But, and it could be because I'm small and I'm tiny too. Like, it was like it took a few seconds to, and I do mean seconds, it wasn't minutes. It took a few seconds for me to separate them, right? Because, I mean, my arm length is not that big or like wide, etc., etc. Anyways, so the fight was broken off. I tied, and then I let Saxon back in the house. Then I tied Pepper to my deck post, and then I brought Saxon out and I tied him as well to the deck post, but where they couldn't reach each other. I just wanted them to be within close proximity and, not be able to reach each other, obviously. And they were both fine. So they know their limits. Like they know, oh, okay, I'm being tied up. I don't have power. I don't have freedom. So they do behave. And then what did I do? And then, when both of them have really, really calmed down, then sorry, quiet them down. Okay, sorry, I just had to calm them down because they were barking because they heard my girls upstairs. Sorry, my brain, I'm really terrible sometimes at these camera things because my mind is going a million miles. Hey, Jasper, quiet. Shh, shh, shh. Jesse. No, you don't need to do that, Jasper. Hey, shh, shh. Jasper, leave it. Jazzy. Shh. Good boy. Good boy, Jasper. Good boy, Jasper. Good boy, buddy. Okay, so that was just my cranky dog Jasper. I think Pepper's too close to him. He has a big personal bubble. Hey, and I don't mind them communicating, but Jasper goes overboard. Like I've allowed him before to communicate, and he just gets worse and worse. So there has to be a limit when I just okay, that's enough. You've said your piece. Pepper? Yeah, so like I mentioned yesterday, the thing with Pepper is he tries to mount almost every dog. And that really, pisses him off. And I don't know, but I honestly don't think it's his fault. It's our fault. It's the human that bred this kind of breed. They've bred them to fight, right? So there's that lineage. But it's kind of like it's what they do and it's what their genetics, I believe, tells them to do. Anyways, kind of shaking my head. So I don't blame him, but what we can do as humans and as their owners and living with this breed is try to train them out of it. So like not allowing them to do it, discouraging them obviously from doing it, and then rewarding them when they aren't doing it. So that's what I try to do. Right now I'm making a video, so it's very hard for me to be doing all that. Saxon, leave it. And Saxon is used to getting his own way, and he's actually very hard-headed and extremely smart. And the thing with him is I find he doesn't respect other dog and people's personal space. So he just does whatever he wants. So then he has to be taught boundaries. Leave it. Good boy. Come here. Saxon. Over here, bud. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Yeah. So redirecting, right? Like Saxon, for example, earlier he was resting his chin on Revy. And Revy was like, grrr, I don't appreciate that. And Saxon didn't do anything. Like he didn't move. He didn't, he needs to learn to respond to other dogs' communicative ways. So then I had to correct Saxon and move his head and basically said, no, you can't be doing that. You can't just do what you want. You need to respect other dogs and respect their space and respect boundaries. Boundaries is a huge thing. It's very huge because if there are no boundaries, they honestly just think they can do what they want. So I'm sorry, this video is getting very long again. And I'll show you later on. I did get a slight injury from it, but and I don't want people to freak out because it's just honestly, it's kind of part of the job. I work with animals. If I'm not 100% careful or diligent. And sometimes, even if I am, things happen, right? It's just life. It's kind of like we get into a car, there are absolutely zero guarantees that we won't get into an accident. Like it's the possibility is always there. So me working with animals, there is always the possibility of something happening. So to me, it's not really a shock. I think to a lot of people, they're like, oh my gosh, you got a nick, you got bit, you had to break a fight, and it's like, yeah, because I work with these guys, I am with a group of them. But yeah, I mean, we can do the obvious thing, which is kind of avoiding the situation, which is like, oh, well, these two don't get along, so let's just never put them together, which works. But honestly, I would rather try to get to the root of the problem and work with them and see if we can solve the problem so that they can get along, right? So that we see what's triggering them, and we help to mold their behavior so that they are okay with each other, because they are both really amazing and great dogs. It's just that point where they like this is their threshold kind of thing, and it just goes over their threshold that they kind of lose it, and so as sitters, owners, and just people that interact with dogs, we have to learn to find a way to work with that, around that, and prevent that. So, oh, look at that. Okay, good boy. Good boy. Good job, guys. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, I'm sorry if the light's a little bad. So what I notice is, so do you notice how Pepper has his face facing away? So he's trying to avoid conflict. This young boy, though, he's just like, yeah, he's kind of more in their face. And that could be honestly like a young thing, right? Like, how just like humans, like the more mature adults try to avoid conflict, and the younger punks, and I mean that in sort of a term of endearment, the younger kids, they like the younger adults, teens, that kind of thing. They're like, bring it on, bring it on. Like that's kind of their attitude, right? So yeah, so just working with them. So that's what I'm doing with these two. Yeah, and it's challenging. Like, it doesn't make my day a breeze, but when things get achieved, it's very rewarding. Like this, moments like this is super rewarding. It's like, wow, so these two can really hash it out and almost attack and eat each other, and yet there are moments when they are okay and they can be like this, and it doesn't happen naturally sometimes, and sometimes, and I think that's why as responsible pet owners and pet sitters, like we have to understand them, understand their body language, and learn to work with them. And I don't have, so Oki is just, I believe he's sleeping, and he's just at the bottom of the bed there. Yeah, there he is. And then Rocky went out when they were barking earlier, and he just stayed. He just stayed out there. So there's, I believe there's a bed out there or a mat, and so he's probably sleeping on that. And Rocky, because Rocky's fine. Like he likes his personal space. Yeah, good job, guys.